Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at some quick little love notes from your person, and I'm going to be using message cards only for this reading. I've got this broken into 4 groups according to elements. So earth signs, air signs, fire signs, and water signs. And this could be your zodiac sign or your person's zodiac sign. Maybe you're drawn to the group number or the crystal itself. So group 1 is for earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and it is the Peteified wood. Group 2 is air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, with this calcite. Group 3 is fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, with the fire agate. And group 4 is water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, with this aquamarine. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, perhaps all of the groups that you are most drawn to. Maybe you are drawn to watch for a particular element or a particular sign. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps for each group in the description box of the video. Hi, group 1. You chose the Peteified wood, or maybe you were drawn to this group for earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. So I'm going to put that there and we'll just get right into it. I'm going to be pulling 4 cards from 4 decks for messages from your person. And they say, my deepest desire is to create a beautiful family with you. So this person is very drawn to you, very drawn to co-creating with you, creating something tangible in the material world, which definitely fits in with the grounded energy of earth signs. And they also say, close your eyes and call in Saint Germain. Surround our love with the protection of the violet flame. So this person could be meditating. They could be, just kind of in a very spiritual and tranquil space right now, really thinking about this connection in a very loving way and sending loving energy in your direction. So if you are feeling that kind of this wave of love, this influx of love, then, definitely trust your feelings. Trust that this is coming from this person. For some from a higher self level, others from a very conscious 3D level at this time. And they also say, I am building my career in finances. Financial security is important to me. So that is energy of the pentacles and, kind of material stability, material success and abundance. So that fits in very well with the element of earth and, just trying to ground their stability to be in a place where, they feel that they have some long-term legacy that they're building, or they're just kind of working on that, focusing on that right now to be able to kind of meet you at a level to where you're on an equal playing field. If you've been focusing on your abundance, they're recognizing this, and it's something that they are putting as a priority right now as well. And then I feel just even aside from that, that again, in conjunction with this element of earth, this very kind of grounded energy that, the importance of that kind of creature comforts and, stability and success in the material world is paramount to this person, perhaps in general or just at this particular time. And they also say, you'll never have anything to fear with me. I will keep you safe and secure. So more of that grounded energy and just really wanting to make you feel this sense of stability with them. I feel this person's really working on their sense of self, working on their, their self-esteem in terms of being able to provide for themselves, to create the life that they want for themselves, so that they can present themselves to you as a very healed and kind of established version of self. If they've been working on their career for a while, maybe they've been in school for a while and they've just graduated, so they're focusing on just kind of building that up, building up the professional reputation. So let's get some cards from the next deck for you, for Earth signs or Group 1. Okay, and they say, you are perfect in my eyes, don't ever change. So a lot of admiration for you, for who you are, for the truth that you are living, and the vibrance with which you are exuding your authenticity. They're seeing that. They're seeing you as very abundant, a very stable, very well-rounded person, somebody that they could really see as a good match for them long term. They're very much drawn to you at the soul level, and I feel also for what they're seeing in the physical 3D world. If some of them can see you on social media or see you out and about, maybe you have friends in common, maybe this is somebody that you work with, and just the way that they're seeing you interact with other people, the way that you treat people, the way you carry yourself, perhaps even the way you manage your finances, or if you run a business, the level of professionalism and kind of courteous demeanor that you have. That's something that's it's very impactful to them. It's something which is drawing them to you. It's something which is making them feel that you are somebody that they would want to build with. They're seeing you as just very, very much perfect the way that you are. And they also say, I want to fight for this connection, but I just don't know how. I seek strength and courage. So this can be more of that energy of maybe, this person is kind of at the moment focused on getting some financial stability, kind of tying up some loose ends in other ways in their life, in ways unrelated to this connection. And so, they feel that there's some things that they need to do first, that they need to accomplish first, see first, experience first, before they are equipped in a way to really present the best version of themselves to you and to show up as the kind of partner that you deserve. And they also say, I regret my past mistakes and wish I could have another chance with you. So if you're in a period of separation with this person, they're feeling that distance, and they're really wanting to bridge that gap between the both of you, perhaps extend an apology, or, just in some way make up for lost time even. And they also say, you are always in my dreams. So if you've been dreaming of this person, that can serve as a confirmation that they're dreaming about you as well. And you're meeting up in kind of the astral realm and in sort of the higher dimensions at this point, that there might be some physical separation. And I feel that this also really ties into, as they are dreaming about their future, as they are envisioning their future, what they want for themselves long term, you're part of that plan. They see you in their future. They see building with you, building a life together with you. So let's get some cards from the next deck. Okay, and they say, I talk to you even though you are not here. So there could be some telepathy going on, or again, maybe meeting up in dreams, having conversations, doing some of that healing, some of those unspoken words while in that sleep state. And this can also be something that, they're feeling your energetic presence around them, and, almost things that are going well in their life, that they're wanting to, almost turn to you and, tell you about their day, or, ask your advice or opinion on something, only to realize that, maybe this urge, this pull is because they're picking up on that energy, that energetic connection from a distance. And, it's something where they're still very much connected to you despite any kind of separation that you are in. They also say, I know you hurt. It's not rejection. I do adore you, but I can't be there like you want yet. So that's that energy of maybe this person working on, their financial stability, some things that they need to accomplish in their life, or they feel they need to accomplish before they're ready to settle down, or they feel that, they need to do in order to be able to prevent some potential instability in the future, or any kind of confusion or indecision, but also to present themselves as a very stable and self-assured and grounded version of themselves. In some way they feel that there's some other things that they need to accomplish first. Maybe for some of them they feel that they want to buy a house, have a little more stability in their career, in their life. They could have some spiritual things going on. They could kind of be going through some reevaluation of themselves, kind of like a spiritual awakening that's really causing them to sort of reevaluate their priorities and, maybe eliminate some things, habits, people, lifestyles, distractions out of their life that they feel would, hinder them in the long run, or would kind of interfere with the connection, or just don't really vibrate or resonate with them anymore. And so any kind of distance or space between you, I feel that they're really trying to let you know that, they're working on some things right now. They're working on tying up some loose ends, really figuring out kind of a plan for themselves, and then also kind of dreaming of this plan for the both of you, for this relationship going forward, as far as, what do they see for themselves, what kind of roads and routes do they see taking to reach those goals, and then equating you into that, trying to factor in how to make time and give the time and energy and devotion to this connection that they want to and that they know you deserve, while also kind of having that balance of focusing on some of the other things that they want to achieve in this lifetime for themselves. And they also say, I just couldn't find the right words to say. My mind has tripped on doubt. My thoughts are trapped in my throat. So this person could definitely be planning some kind of communication with you. They could have, like this, that card came out, I talked to you even though you're not there. There could be some rehearsing of what they want to say. If they had, maybe cut off this connection, or chosen to focus on their career, focus on finances, school, just other things in the material world, as opposed to really investing in this romance and this love, then they're really feeling that they, there's this energy of regret where they want to, make a move back towards you, as they are kind of building themselves up in some other ways. Then they're feeling this need to really connect with you and to, bring you up to speed with what's happened, the changes, the evolution that's happened in their life. But they might just not know the words to say to really start that conversation, broach that subject. If an apology is owed, they could still be kind of in this period of indecision about what to say, how to convey their deepest truth to you. And so there could be some hesitation in that sense. And they also say, I am coming to you. I know now all I want is you. So any kind of indecision in the past, they've definitely come to some clarity as they've been working on other things in their life in the mundane sense, in the 3D sense, and just what they're observing about you, or even just feeling about you energetically, that, it really fits, seems to make sense, that you're somebody they could co-create with, somebody that they want to build with, that they're very determined to again, link up with your energy, link up with you in the 3D sense. And, even if they just bring you, you come back into each other's lives as friends, I feel that they want something more. They kind of want a partnership with you. They see you as somebody they can build and, grow with long term, but, they value your opinion. They value your input. There's a lot of respect for who you are, for what you've kind of gone through, what you've overcome, and, the person that you've blossomed into. And so even if it's just in a friend's capacity, this person definitely, wants you in their life. They want to be able to, meet up with you, to call you, to talk to you, to exchange energy with you on a level that's more deep and intimate than what might currently be going on in, say, like dreams or the astral realm or meditation. So let's get the final 4 cards for you, group 1, or for Earth signs. Okay, and they say, I will find my way back to you. So that ties in really well with that card that just came out with I am coming to you. So there's definitely a plan in motion. They're figuring out how to kind of make this work, how to, kind of fit this in, how to make some room in their life. They could be, things could be going really well, could really be taking off with their career or, a business. Maybe they started a business. They have a lot going on. And so it's taking some planning even perhaps of how to make some time and some space to really open themselves up to this, to, devote some time to this connection. Maybe you guys are at a geographical distance, and so there's some planning as well that's going to be involved as far as, meeting up with you, headed back in your direction. But this is something that, the more they're building and they're having success, they're experiencing, abundance and prosperity with some other things they've been focusing on in their career and, in the material sense, that now there's this component of their heart that's kind of been unlocked, where they're moving in the direction of really being at that stage of wanting to have that partnership to build that family, even if it's a family of fur babies, for example, a family of friends, or just being kind of like sort of like a hands-on family member with, say, nieces or nephews that they have, grandkids even, just depending on, your age or the circumstances, or, other, friends' children, just in some way, involved in kind of this, that whole process, and, just being very present in the lives of others, to be this kind of support system, to experience that joy of children in that sense, even if it's not both of your own biological children, but for a lot of you, they do see you as somebody that they would want to have a family with, that they are, again, getting things, really some loose ends tied up, really working on building that stability, kind of building that nest or that nest egg to where they feel prepared to, take things to the next level in their life. And, when they're thinking about a partner, a partnership, you're the person that really comes to mind. You're the person that's been at their heart, through all of this building, and as they are, again, achieving some goals, more and more it's becoming clear kind of what the next step is for them, what they want to focus on and need to focus on, and need to make some space and room in their life in order to accommodate that. And they also say love will conquer. So they're feeling very optimistic about this, that in the right time and circumstances, that there's kind of a destined component to this love, that despite any sort of distance or kind of a moving away from this connection in the past, it could have been outright rejection, or just, maybe this person at the time when you were last dealing with them said they weren't really looking for something serious. They were just trying to focus on, their career, on kind of, getting their footing in the world. And now that's happened. They've achieved a lot of those goals. And so now is the time where, they're ready to open their heart to love, and they're very trusting that, love will lead you both back to each other. And they also say the truth was hidden. So again, if this person really, said maybe they weren't looking for a commitment, they had some other things they wanted to focus on, the truth of the matter was that, it's always been you. There's always been this magnetic component between the both of you. This feeling that one day you would, come back together, that one day in the end it would work out for both of you. And this could have been something that they didn't, express at the time, but just sort of close themselves off to maybe exploring this romance deeply, or kind of pulled away from it at some point to kind of focus on other things. But, even through the distance and any kind of silence, you've always been in their heart. It's always really when they have considered like who they would want to partner with, who they'd want to build a life with, it's always been you. And they also say, you make me want to do better. So they're very motivated by, the way they are seeing you standing in your power, the abundance, the prosperity that you're cultivating for yourself, your authenticity, your grace. And it's something that has really, it's been a motivator for them, a motivating factor in them to continue to pursue their goals, continue to, reach for that point of stability where then they feel, comfortable enough, or like they have enough to offer or bring to the table, this sense of security and independence, to equally match what they are, sensing from you, what you exude. This confidence, this abundance, this prosperity, even just a prosperous, mindset. Prosperity doesn't have to necessarily equate with finances, how much money you make, how much you have in the bank, but it's a prosperity mindset, an openness to receive, a generosity, a very giving nature, and just this energy of gratitude that they're seeing from you, they're sensing from you, and it's something that's really motivating them to continue to pursue these goals, to keep this love in their heart, and keep that intention. Despite the time or the distance that separates you, that this component of trust, that love will find a way, love will conquer, and they just need to keep putting one foot in front of the other, pursuing those goals, and really stepping into that truth and authenticity. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Calcite, or maybe you were drawn to this group because you are watching for an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, or you yourself have that in your chart. So I'm going to put the Calcite up there and we will get right into it. 4 cards from 4 different decks here. Messages from your person for group 2. Okay, and they say, I often sing to you when you're not here. Pay attention to songs that stand out to you. They are a message from me. So you could be hearing songs that remind you of this person, or maybe you have a song that was playing a lot when you were together. You know, it's your song. Could be even a song if you were married to this person. This could be your wedding song, the song that you danced to, or just a song that's significant. Song lyrics could have messages. And I feel that, you know, if you're feeling this person kind of speaking to you through music, that feeling is very much mutual. They're hearing songs that are reminding them of you, or, you know, just this sense of feeling you with them when they listen to certain types of music, particular songs. And they also say, I'm starting to see past these illusions. They're just fears that I've been running from. So this person is definitely starting to get some clarity about a lot of things in their life. They could be in the midst of kind of a spiritual awakening, a dark night of the soul, where, a lot of the things that held value to them before, they're really seeing with new eyes, kind of the things they were investing their time and energy in, even people that they were associating with their belief systems, that, they're really doing some inventory as far as what resonates with them. What are some belief systems or kind of outdated patterns or habits or lifestyles that this is kind of a time to release in order to move forward, to evolve to the next phase of their life. And they also say, I will support you. I'll provide all that you need. So I think this is really talking about this emotional support. This person really wants to be able to show up and be very present for you. They're working on some triggers, some things are coming up, some wounds from the past, kind of deeply embedded kind of fears that was coming up here with, this other card about fears that they've been running from. And so as these things are coming to the surface, this person is in this process of really trying to get to the root of things, really addressing some things that they may have stuffed down or repressed for quite some time, in the interest of kind of resolving these sort of reoccurring patterns, this reoccurring wounding. Some things come to their attention as far as some cycles that need to be broken. There's this desire to change and shift and grow beyond their comfort zones. And in terms of with this connection, there's this knowledge that they have come to, this epiphany that has happened, this realization that where they may have been either, blaming you for some things in the connection, or maybe just in a process of blaming others, blaming circumstances for, the reality they were experiencing, or even feelings that they were having. There's been some kind of an awareness that has taken place, where they're really being called to kind of take ownership for their role in some things, and to recognize the ways in which they may not have shown up as the best partner. They may not have shown up as the best friend, as the best family member, that was really, there was a lack kind of reciprocity in terms of give and take in a variety of relationships or circumstances in their life, in addition to this one with you. So they're definitely, acknowledging that, and on some level starting to kind of work on that, with acknowledgement, of course, being the first step to kind of remedying this pattern or habit. And they also say, don't ever stop shining your light. It is so beautiful. So they have a lot of admiration for you. They're seeing you from a new perspective as well. They're perhaps seeing circumstances of your connection, any kind of separation that you're in. They're starting to take some ownership of that. They may have blamed you for some things, or pushed you away, or, been really triggered by things in the past. But again, through this energy of kind of epiphany and starting to take ownership in other ways in their life for things, maybe something has been brought to their attention. Tables have kind of been turned where, they could have been blaming even other people or circumstances in their life for, a mindset or where it is that they're finding themselves, but they've been made aware of the role they have in co-creating their reality with the universe. And so this awareness, perhaps even starting to work on the mindset, work on kind of this attitude of gratitude, and kind of seeing the abundance flow from that, it's a perspective that then it's a lens of looking at life, of looking at the world, that they've then started applying to other things, other relationships. And, they've now started thinking on you, thinking on the circumstances with you. And so they're moving away from any kind of energy of blame or triggering or running. And they're really, appreciating you for your authenticity, your generosity, and your grace. So let's get some more messages for this next deck for you, group 2. Okay, and they say, I struggle with revealing my true feelings and emotions. So this was coming up earlier with, this tendency this person might have had to really stuff things down, to kind of blame others, project onto others, as opposed to really, take ownership, take responsibility for some things. And so that's something that it's being brought to their attention in other ways, I feel, in their life. And as they have this new perspective, this widened perspective, this different lens with which to view a particular circumstance, they're applying that lens to a myriad of things in their life, including this relationship with you, whatever might have happened in the past, whatever might have gone wrong or kind of created this separation or distance between you. And they're recognizing the role that maybe, being emotionally detached, being emotionally unavailable, unwilling to kind of deep dive with you, and maybe things became tough, or there was a struggle, or there were kind of circumstances that were at odds that were kind of requiring both of you to really work through that, step through any fear, step through any kind of triggering or wounding from past experiences or kind of preconceived notions. So they're recognizing that, which is definitely a good first step toward remedying it. And they also say, I carry guilt for the way I mistreated you. So again, this energy of really starting to take ownership for their role and what could have gone wrong in this relationship in the past, the separation or distance that you find yourself in. They could have really blamed you, projected a lot of things onto you in the past, but there's been a shift to where they're starting to take ownership for things, their role in things. And they also say, you will always have a special place in my heart nobody else can fill. So at the root of this, at the heart of this, is deep love for you. As they're kind of, the wounding, the triggering is sort of dissipating. They're gaining some clarity, and they may have been kind of frustrated or upset or angry with the circumstances, with something that occurred between the both of you in the past. But they're seeing through that. They're seeing past that illusion of kind of anger as a defense mechanism. They're starting to see how maybe they were, triggered by intimacy. They're starting to recognize perhaps some triggers as far as love or closeness, or this kind of fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of loss that caused them to kind of push you away or keep this connection at an arm's length. And as they're getting clarity about that, they're really recognizing that despite whatever might have happened in the past, that, deep down at the heart of it, they really do love you. And they also say, hurting you hurt me even more. So there's that energy again of if they pushed you away or, really projected or blamed you for some things, in the past, an interaction, some kind of circumstance that, they're getting some clarity about that. They're feeling a lot of guilt, feeling a lot of remorse for that. It's definitely a circumstance where it's not out of sight, out of mind. You're very much on their mind. Again, this clarity I feel that has come in through something else in their life, some other circumstance that has made them really have to reevaluate themselves and really recognize how they might participate in circumstances, or, even just a mindset that kind of attracts a series of events or circumstances or people, that something's shed light on that. Maybe it's even the concept of law of attraction. This could have come to their attention, to their awareness, and they're really applying that theory to many things in their life, getting a lot of epiphanies, a lot of clarity, how, their attitude or their outlook could have kind of participated or fueled sort of the attraction of less than desirable circumstances. Recognitions of the ways in which they blamed or projected or kind of even pushed away love. Kind of recoiling from this intimacy and this sanctuary of love. And it's something that through that awareness that they're feeling very bad about that, very regretful about that. So let's get some more messages for you, group 2. Okay, and they say, when I ask, will you say yes? Open up your heart and let it begin. So there's this desire with this clarity that they have to move back in your direction, perhaps offer an apology, or, express this regret, let you know what it is that they've learned, the truth that they've seen. And there's this desire to really start things fresh with you, to move beyond wherever you last left things in your relationship. This can also be something where for some of you, they've kind of kept the relationship at arm's length. Maybe they've really hesitated or avoided kind of taking things to the next level. You could have had conversations, even fights about that, wanting to really progress the relationship, and they've really just dug their heels in. cold feet almost, I'm feeling, to really, progress things at their natural pace, or, at the appropriate pace, or maybe you've been dating this person for a while, living with this person for a while, even engaged to this person for a while. And, it's now time, it's the appropriate time to take the next step, or at least have discussions about that, which this person could have been very resistant to, but they're starting to have a shift about that. They're starting to recognize ways in which maybe they've pushed love away or kind of self-sabotaged in the past. And, so they're trying to kind of formulate a way to present that truth to you and really move beyond the energy that you find yourselves in currently. And they also say, I miss your touch. I want to hold you and tell you what I'm going through. So that's that energy of, again, wanting to kind of resume things, move things into a better kind of state than which you find yourselves. There's this desire to express this clarity, these epiphanies to you, these realizations that they've had to you, to really express how much you mean to them if they may have really withheld that in the past, or, kind of self-sabotaged, or just said some things to kind of push you away, to really blame you for some other things that were going on in their life, or things that were triggered. And there's this desire to kind of remedy that, to rectify that. And they also say, I know you hurt. It's not rejection. I do adore you, but I can't be there like you want yet. So they're acknowledging that, they may be at just kind of the first stage of this process of really acknowledging the role that they have played in circumstances in their life, in self-sabotaging, in, pushing away people that were just trying to love them, trying to support them. And after that acknowledgement, that very crucial step of, becoming enlightened, becoming more self-aware, then there's all that kind of that pain and that remorse and that fear and that guilt and anger and regret that needs to be processed and released in order to kind of transcend that, to reach this plateau where then courage can be cultivated. It can be, harnessed from the inside. It can be capitalized upon. And so they're acknowledging that they're still in some phase of that process of, really doing this personal inventory and kind of releasing these, denser feelings, a lot of blame, self-blame even, or feelings of regret for the way they may have, acted or handled things in the past. And they also say, I talk to you even though you are not here. So this person could definitely be rehearsing what they want to say to you. There could be some telepathy going on between you and this person as well, that, especially through this clarity that they have attained, this epiphany, this enlightened state as far as their role in the circumstances they find themselves in, or, looking back over maybe how they treated you or how they showed up or didn't show up in loving relationships, family relationships, friendships in the past. There's this desire to where, even though they don't feel ready in the 3D to really present that to you, they're still kind of figuring that out. They're still kind of, in this process of metamorphosis. They could be definitely sending, loving thoughts your way, trying to at least, convey and communicate that to you from a distance. So if you're feeling kind of this influx of love or sudden thoughts of this person, that can be a confirmation as well that, at that moment or kind of around that time, because energy doesn't follow a time. It's can be instant, and it can also be something that, at the appropriate time you'll receive the message. So just, you can know that in the present moment, in this current now, what you're feeling from them, these feelings of love, that is their state of being. That is the state at which they're thinking of you. They're thinking of this desire to, kind of, move the page on things with you, turn the page, turn the wheel, create a new story with you, kind of close out some of the difficult things, that difficult chapter or period of your past together. And there's really this desire to start fresh, and it's something that they're working toward. So let's get the last 4 messages for you, group 2. Okay, and they say, I have emotional baggage. Yeah, so that was coming up throughout this entire reading for you, that, you know, this person is dealing with some very heavy and entrenched feelings that they have, you know, really stuffed down, some fears of loss or abandonment, fears of intimacy that may have caused them to kind of lash out or project. But they have come into some kind of self-awareness. They're seeing themselves in their lives and the experiences that they've had through a different lens. They also say, teach me how to love. So there is this openness, this desire to really learn some new skills, a new way of being. They're recognizing you as a very loving individual. They're recognizing you as somebody that only wanted to give them love, which they may have, you know, kind of rejected in the past or avoided in the past. But they're in this, they have shifted into this state of really wanting to work on that, to work on, you know, the experiences that they are having, the ways in which they are showing up for other people and also for themselves. And they also say, you are the missing puzzle piece in my life. So they're recognizing this deep sense of connectedness and perhaps this, you know, true and authentic love that they were feeling, which it felt very scary to them. And so kind of as a wounding mechanism, a triggering mechanism, or just a pattern from the past, something ingrained or learned, they kind of pushed that away, retreated from that, just out of this like fear of love or fear of losing love. And they also say, I wish I was more like you. So that again kind of ties in with this energy of teach me how to love, where they're recognizing you as a very genuine person, a very loving person. They're recognizing that, you know, you were only trying to offer them love, that you were presenting your heart, that you were, you know, exposing your heart and being very vulnerable to them. And, you know, the ways in which you lean into love and the self-love that you practice, that you embody, the way that you are, you know, so open with your heart and so giving and generous with that energy of love, both to them and then, you know, the ways in which they recognize how you are, you know, loving to your family, loving to your friends, loving to your community, just kind to people, this kindness and this generosity. It's something that, you know, as they are in this process of kind of rewriting their narrative, kind of reprogramming some of their, you know, responses to things or their reactions to things. They're really looking to you as an example, even energetically feeling into you to kind of recalibrate their own vibration and to sort of embody some of these qualities that you have exhibited to them, which in the past they may have really rejected and pushed away. But they're seeing with fresh eyes, they're seeing from a new perspective, and there's a deep admiration from you that has surfaced through all of this. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the fire agate, or maybe you were drawn to this group because you or your person is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So let's get right into it. 4 cards from 4 decks, little love notes from your person for group 3. Okay, and they say, I have never felt this strongly about anyone. So that's some fiery energy right there, right out of the gate. This burning love that they have for you. They definitely have, undergone some kind of heart chakra activation, I'm feeling. There's just the intensity of this connection between the both of you. It could have been kind of quiet or cold for a while, but there's been some kind of rebirth, some kind of volumizing of the physiological and kind of etheric sensations associated with this. You might be feeling this person around you a lot lately, or maybe for the first time in a while. You could start having some more dreams about this person, or just getting these waves of love energy, of kundalini energy. And I'm feeling that if that's the case, it's definitely coming from this person, that they're thinking of you in a very loving way. They're really, digging into that center of themselves at the root of it all, where, you have this very precious space within their heart. They may have even the connection might have felt kind of cold for a while because they had some other things that they were dealing with in the material world, some kind of upheavals that were taking place, or something that was really kind of pulling their full attention and focus. And it feels like they've come to some kind of place of stability. Some resolutions have happened, and now they're able to focus more on this. They may have also kind of pulled back to really kind of do some growth within themselves in some other ways, maybe some spiritual growth, some spiritual contemplation, or just kind of growth in terms of their ideas of love, their definitions of love, their expectations of love, or just some kind of shift in their material circumstances. But again, this energy of resolution, and so the fire is being turned up once again in their heart for you. And they also say, you have helped me face my fears. I am building my courage to commit to you. So yeah, that definitely is that energy of some other things that could have been going on in their 3D world, some things they were kind of working through or releasing, some kind of change or transition that was happening, and that you definitely have been an inspiration for going through that process. Any kind of darkness you've gone through, any kind of obstacles that you have overcome that, either occurred while they were with you, or that they've seen from a distance, or even just energetically have experienced this process of you rebirthing yourself, kind of rising out of the ashes of whatever, fell away in your life, or needed to fall away in your life. That it's been something that has really, it's assisted them in terms of setting an energetic paradigm to really, emulate and to reach for, and to, help them to kind of raise their vibration through some very dark experiences, some dark times. It feels very much like a light in the darkness, like a beacon, and they're recognizing that now that they've kind of come through the other side of something pretty major, maybe several major things. And they're feeling that they are more kind of in a steady place, and really interested and focused on, kind of rebuilding this, re-exploring this, or at least giving energetically back into this connection more so than they have in the past or in the recent past. And they also say, you are so gorgeous. I want to love you and explore every inch of you. So more of that fiery energy of passion and attraction. And, I feel that they're not only attracted to you, to what they're seeing in you. Maybe you've undergone some kind of a glow up. You've really stepped into your own. You've really blossomed. Maybe you've changed something about, your hairstyle, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself in the world. But I feel it's more of you just stepping into your empowerment, that energetically they're so attracted to you. They find your energy so enticing, and it's really magnetizing them in. And they also say, please be patient with me. I am healing my heart. So that's that energy of something pretty major that they may have gone through, some kind of loss, some kind of tower moment, or maybe several tower moments that had really kind of taken all their energy, taken all their attention. some things they may have had to let go of, or even some kind of fears, like some fears about love, or residual heartbreaks of the past that they'd been kind of avoiding, or through that wounding they had just kind of carried that forth, and it may have even kind of caused your relationship to implode or explode depending on the circumstances, because they were acting from a very wounded place in the past. And it's something where they've really gone within and done some work on that, but they're still in this process of healing and mending, having come out of on the other side of a very heavy experience, or a series of experiences. This could have been a very difficult and kind of dark period for them recently, but it feels like they're kind of emerging from that, or they're sort of freshly emerged from that, but they're still in this process of needing to regain their strength after what they've been through. So let's get some more messages for you, group 3. Okay, and they say, give me more time. I am working on being a better counterpart for you. So yeah, that's that energy right there of, being patient, that they're still healing. They're working on this. They're recognizing your energy. They're either seeing your example literally in the ways in which you've changed your life. You've maybe even shifted your outlook, shifted what you give your time and attention to. Or how you're even loving yourself, how you're treating yourself. And it's something that's very much an inspiration to them. And they are acknowledging that they've been through, some pretty heavy realizations, some pretty heavy period of transition. And, they're in the process of kind of rebuilding themselves, kind of rising out of the ashes of their own, fiery experience. And if you resonate as a twin flame, or, consider this person your counterpart or your soulmate, we do have that word counterpart here in this card, so that can be a confirmation for you in that sense. And they also say judgment. I'm making the decision once and for all to turn this around. So again, some circumstances in their life that they may have really had to shed some things, shed some people, belief systems, some tower moments could have happened, a real reckoning. They could have really come to a breaking point in a lot of ways, or some things in their life just kind of broke down to where they were really forced to kind of see some truths, maybe some harsh truths, maybe face their fears in a lot of ways. And, they've kind of, for some of them, have really kind of hit this rock bottom, or this very kind of low and dark place. And, through the energetic connection with you, through seeing you as an example of, kind of triumph and sort of overcoming challenges, or even just energetically feeling into that, feeling you, vibrating so at such a high and authentic level, and, really embodying your authenticity fearlessly, and, in a very self-loving and courageous and self-assured manner. It's something that it's really motivating them to rebuild themselves, to kind of, come back from whatever it is that has really kind of brought them down, whatever circumstances have crumbled. They've made that decision, and, it's a shift in perspective that has definitely taken place. And so they're in this process of kind of like rejuvenating, rebirthing themselves currently. And they also say, I wish you can understand that this was a difficult decision for me. In fact, I still struggle with it. So this can relate to the things that they may have had to let go of in their life, people, long-term habits, goals or dreams, things that they were focusing on, maybe even a relationship with somebody else, that it's taken a very long time for them to come to this point of being willing or able to relinquish that. Some things could have even just through tower moments, through divine intervention, that they were, just clinging to way past the expiration date. Something could have happened that really force them to be to discontinue these things, to really be separated from these things, or cause these things to go away from their life. And it's something that, that's still a struggle. Maybe the circumstances of what happened with these tower moments, or, they're struggling with, detaching from things, or even just the fact that it took them a while to detach, or maybe they, made a choice. Maybe there was some kind of an ultimatum or a choice between you and, say, another relationship, maybe even like, counterpart and karmic kind of relationships, if there was a third party involved. And, they're letting you know that it was difficult for them to make that decision even at the time. And it doesn't seem like it turned out to be the correct long-term choice for them. that the stability they may have found there, it was short-lived, it was fleeting, it has eroded, it has gone away, and they found themselves at this point of really needing to pick themselves back up. And it's a struggle to kind of heal themselves and to rebuild themselves to where they're finding themselves at now. And they also say, you made me see a side of me that I've grown to hate. So they're very disappointed in themselves now that they have, this clarity, and some things have kind of crumbled down, and they're left just very exposed, very just, with nowhere to turn, nothing to kind of, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. They're forced to kind of see these things, to face those fears. And it's something that, they, in a lot of ways, don't in many ways recognize the person they were before. It's something that, they become so acutely aware of how that approach, or, the mode in which they were operating, that it led to hurting you, to hurting other people, hurting themselves in just a variety of ways that, can be very specific to your situation. Just take what resonates. But it's something that they really are, they're very committed to growing away from the direction in which they were previously very rooted and very much showing up in the world, showing up in their relationships, the way that they were viewing themselves, their own sense of self-worth, the types of relationships or lifestyles or, people even that they were allowing to kind of have a say in their life, or that they were investing time and energy in, that really just took more from them than they were giving, or were kind of toxic, or just really brought them down in a variety of ways. And it's something that there's very much this sense of commitment to move and evolve beyond that. It's something that they really are not interested in kind of going back to that lifestyle, to that person, to that pattern, but there's very much this desire to grow in another direction, to have this shift, have this change, to show up as somebody that they may not have shown up as before, or in a very long time in their life and in their relationships. So let's get some more messages for you, group 3. Okay, and they say, we learned from our karma, so we will be strong. So this can definitely be a confirmation there of maybe they were in some kind of karmic relationship, even a karmic pattern of like an addiction, something to do with friends, with family, focusing on work, some kind of distraction, a hobby, a habit, something that was really, it wasn't bringing out the best in them. It wasn't really facilitating them living their best life. It was something that was maybe taking more than it was giving, a lot of toxicity there. And so they're acknowledging that they've, they've closed up some cycles. They may have, really kind of released some karmic patterns, some karmic relationships from their life that, were not serving them in the long term, but really just served as, lessons for them, that really, were necessary to kind of clear the way to this place of kind of emptiness, this void that they may find themselves in a lot of ways, in order to really, have some clarity and perception on themselves, to really take accountability for their own actions, and, to have that space to really be given that room for choice, to either fall back into the old habits and experience the same results, or to do something different, to shift, to change and to grow. And by doing that, to experience, different results, to have different experiences, to encounter different people, or, just even magnetize in a different level of abundance, different kinds of emotions than they were previously experiencing or witnessing, based on the kind of the mindset, the worldview that they were operating with, or, the people and the habits and the things that they were entertaining in their life. And they also say, I'm sorry, can you forgive me? So a lot of regret there for what happened in the past. They said that also kind of with the, you made them see a side of themselves they've grown to hate. That there's a lot of regret for, the way that they treated you, the things that they prioritized in the past, or the way they were, just even showing up in the world, showing up, in your relationship, the things that they may have let come between the two of you, or that they may have put precedence on over this relationship, kind of chosen or leaned in the direction of at the expense of this connection with you. And it's something that, they really are trying to kind of rebuild themselves into, a better version than how they were showing up before, so that they can come to you as kind of a more healed, a more authentic, and a healthier version of them than the person you might have been dealing with previously. And they also say, I'm scared. I'm afraid that you won't want me. So there's some self-loathing that's going on here and just some uncertainty. The self-reflection, the accountability that they are in of really recognizing how they treated you in the past, maybe the things that they allowed to come in between your relationship, or, choosing somebody else, a karmic kind of pattern or a karmic person over you in the past, kind of rejecting love and going more in the direction of, just sort of something that felt good or looked good in the here and now, but kind of lacked depth and substance in the long term at the soul level, wasn't resonant with them. Was maybe contrary to their values, or was just something that didn't really lead to their upliftment, that could have just resulted in a tower moment, a collapse, and really came at a big expense to them. It cost them a lot in perhaps many ways, a variety of ways in their life. And so they have that clarity, but they're also afraid that whatever has happened in the past, that there's no coming back for that. So these are some of their fears as well that they're grappling with, that they're in this process of really, kind of summoning the strength to at least put themselves out there, to at least offer that apology, or to, see if there's a chance between the both of you, because they have this clarity, and it's something, this truth that is made aware to them, and it's something that they don't feel that they can just sort of sit with that forever, but they need to express that. They at least need to let you know that they've seen the light, and they are in the process of becoming that light as well. And they also say, you are my anchor, my star, my hope, my love, my light. So that's a really beautiful energy there. And, just through all this darkness, you definitely, that was coming up, that you kind of functioned as this energetic beacon for them. You really helped them through whatever this tower moment or series of tower moments, or this kind of process of loss and release that they've been going through, that has happened. These things that have occurred, that have fallen away from their life. And it's something that, as they're in a process then of kind of being vacated of the things that really filled space in their life, they're looking to you, even as an energetic example of what they strive to be, what they want to work on, what they want to become. Like they said here, they're working on becoming a better counterpart for you. They're really seeing and recognizing how kind of the ways that they were showing up, the things they were doing and saying, or the life that they were living, the people they were allowing in their lives in the past, that it wasn't very conducive to kind of the healthy and best version of self. But they're now trying to grow away from the things that they previously had entertained, and growing more in the direction of you, even in the energetic example that you set. So let's get the final 4 cards for you, group 3. Okay, and they say, I will find my way back to you. So they're very committed deep in their heart to remedy this, to shift the energy that you maybe left things on, the sour note that the connection was left on. There's this desire to, again, grow away from the person that they were, the people that were in their lives, the habits they were entertaining, the outlook, the way they were treating others, approaching others, viewing life. There's this desire to grow away from that, to kind of choose the other path. You being very much this energetic paradigm, or even as they're seeing you, maybe they see you out and about, or see you on social media, and just this vibrance and this authenticity and this love that you exude. It's something that's really, it's drawing them in. It's something that they're aspiring to, and so they're letting you know that they're looking to that. They're looking to that direction, to you, to your direction. And it's something that, they're in this process of still healing and growing, but they do intend on reconnecting with you at a future point when they have kind of done some more evolution within themselves. And they also say, I can't face you. So yeah, that was coming up with, they're still in this process of kind of growth, of shift, of kind of maybe still releasing some things, or, kind of working through these fears. A lot of guilt and shame perhaps about what happened in the past, how they treated you, things they said, things they did. And so that's a process of really having to summon that strength and that courage, really recognize that, sit in that, make the choice to be different, to do different, to, display that, to embody that in other ways in their lives. There could be, other sort of amends that they need to make, other things that they need to kind of rebuild in their life. And, so at this point, although there's this fire in their heart for you, and they're very much, they're seeing that core of love. They're very much, feeling this connection, that they're letting you know that this isn't, there's still a lot of other things that, from all of this transition and these things that have fallen apart in their life, there's still a lot they need to rebuild, that this just might not be the right time for them to come forth as that healed and better version of themselves. And they also say, never felt anything like this before. So that came out, that was that first card as well, that said, I have never felt this strongly about anybody. So double confirmation of that, the intensity of this, the intensity of these feelings, that it's not for a lack of attraction or a lack of feeling that they may have moved away from this connection or chosen to go down another path previously. It's an intensity that through circumstance and time and distance, it continues. It's very much alive, and in a pretty major sense, through all of this kind of loss and transition that has occurred in their life, they're feeling kind of the influx of these feelings. They're feeling the intensity of this connection, for a lot of them more strongly even than they did before, which is, that too is functioning as a beacon, as something of significance to them, that, this love is deeper than any kind of circumstances. It's in the realm of unconditional, in terms of, there's time and space and circumstances not diminishing the feeling of connectedness and the way in which they regard you and the way in which they are drawn to you, that whatever might have happened, that there's still this deep desire that maybe in the past they kind of rejected that, or, made a choice that was kind of in opposition to that, or kind of moved them in a different direction, kind of pushed you two apart. But it was still a choice. It wasn't for a lack of feeling. It was just, choosing to go in another direction, which it provided a learning experience for them, some karma, some experiences that might have been kind of heavy or didn't really feel too good, so that at least then they're able to make that informed decision, that free will choice based on, this awareness of kind of what these two paths lead toward, disappointment or fulfillment. And they also say, you see my soul. So great message to end this on for you, group 3, in terms of this deep soul connection, this counterpart connection that they feel. They feel you very strongly. They're definitely connecting in with you. They're getting a lot of energetic support from you. They're trying to support you in what ways they can energetically while they're still going through this process in themselves. So if you're feeling this influx of loving energy coming from this person, just know that might be all they're able to at this point really present you with, really provide you with. So, definitely send them loving energy back, because it definitely seems that they are going through some kind of process of rebirth and growth. And if you've been through something like that yourself, you know how difficult that can be. So always a good idea to send that love, that loving kind of boost of encouragement to help them along this journey. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 4. You chose the Aquamarine, or maybe you were drawn to this group because you are a water sign, or your person is a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. So let's get right into it. 4 messages from 4 different decks for group 4. What does their person want to say? All right, they say, I can see clearly now. I am no longer in denial. So this person could be recognizing this connection. They could have really kind of pushed this away. The feelings could have been very overwhelming. They could have stuffed those down, denied having feelings, just kind of rejected this. Kind of cut you off, ghosted you in the past even. And there's been some kind of clarity, something that, they're where they may have kind of turned their back to this connection. They've kind of turned around. They're facing this connection. They're wanting to explore this. They're willing to acknowledge this, to acknowledge the energetic connection between the both of you, or even feelings they have for you that they have maybe stuffed down or repressed or kept deeply inside. There could have also been some kind of spiritual awakening that has taken place, some kind of illumination or enlightenment in your person, either regarding this relationship or also perhaps in general in their life, which is bringing a lot of things to clarity, a lot of illusions or misconceptions, or just ways they were operating in the world that weren't really in resonance with them. They were maybe just going through the motions, kind of people pleasing, or it was something they'd become ingrained with, kind of enculturated with, and they're in this process of really acknowledging that and starting to kind of evaluate what are their truths, what resonates with them as an individual versus what are they kind of told to believe, or kind of maybe was just kind of going along with in order to keep the status quo. And they also say, my love for you runs so deep. Yeah, so feelings that they may have stuffed down or denied, they're really acknowledging that. It's a very profound love they have, a very profound connection, deep energetic connection. This is soulmate energy, twin flame energy. And it's something where, as they may have run from this or kind of turned their back to it, they're really acknowledging that, that despite what they might have said or done, at the heart of it all, it's always been love. These feelings have always been love, as much as they might have tried to push that away or kind of stuff that down. And they say, when I close my eyes, all I see is your beautiful face. I could stare at you for eternity. So they're thinking very lovingly about you, maybe about times you shared in the past, memories with you. They could be looking at your photograph, looking at you on social media. If they, work with you or, see you out and about, they could just be admiring you from afar. Thinking of you very fondly in a very loving way. So you could really be feeling that. You could be, feeling this person, this love kind of emanating from this person. You could also be reminded of this person. They could kind of suddenly pop into your mind, or, you're seeing their name everywhere, kind of people that look like them, signs, significant things that remind you of this person. You could be meeting up with them in dreams as well. All of these things, confirmation that you're heavily on their mind, that there's a reason that you're picking up on this energy, and that they're coming so strongly in so many ways into your awareness. And they also say, I could listen to your voice all day and all night. Like a lullaby, it is music to my ears and soothes my soul. So you could be listening to music or hearing songs that maybe were a song that you two shared, songs that remind you of this person. There could be messages in the lyrics of songs as well that, you just, when you are hearing that, you're suddenly reminded of this person, or you're feeling that kind of influx of the loving energy. And, I feel that they're also listening to music and really thinking of you. And it's something where, they could also really be missing maybe conversations that you had, just, spending time with you, talking about things. They really miss, getting your opinion about things, the way which you two, would have discussions, the way that, you'd speak about things that you were passionate about, that you allowed them the time and space. You really acknowledged their truths, laughed at their jokes, listened to their opinions on things, their hopes, their dreams. That could have been something which, is very rare for them. They could have opened up to you in ways, or found more acceptance for who they are, for their truth and the way they, kind of view the world than they might have with other people. They could have again, maybe been really kind of ridiculed or, told to believe or act a certain way. And so they could have really kind of repressed themselves in the interest of pleasing others, kind of maintaining the status quo, showing up as others expected them to. But with you, there was this ability to, really let that mask down, really let that guard down, open up in a way and let you in, let you see into a truth about them that they may have not allowed others to really see or might not have found acceptance about in the past. And so it's something they're really, they're missing that. They're missing that authenticity that existed between the both of you, just this kind of raw energy and this acceptance also that they feel and felt from you. So let's get some more messages for you, group 4. And they say, I am working on myself each day so I can come back to you as my complete whole self. So with this energy of awareness that they've had, there's definitely this clarity as far as, this desire to pursue this relationship, to pursue these feelings, to make their way back into your world, even if it's just as a friend, if that's all circumstances allow, or, maybe you have moved off in another direction, you're with somebody else that, they miss the connection between the both of you. They miss having you as a present part of their reality. They're doing work on themselves to really kind of shed these illusions, to kind of rise beyond that, figure out who they are, what do they believe, what resonates with them. They're working on stepping into that truth, letting their voice be heard, come what may. Really, just kind of in a process of sifting out as well, people that have their best interests in mind versus people that maybe are only in their lives for, kind of what can be done for them, how this person can kind of serve their interests, but that there might be some kind of lack of reciprocity or, lack of acceptance or true kind of camaraderie deep down inside. So they are in a process of kind of breaking down some things in their life and rebuilding themselves, refashioning themselves, reimagining themselves into a better version of who they could be, really taking that potential and that possibility and making some very concrete moves to manifest that into their reality. And they also say, if I could turn back time, I would do it all different. Yeah, so there, with this clarity, there's a lot of regret, missing the time you spent together, the opportunity to be face to face with you, or again, these long discussions that you might have had, or just the way in which you interacted, you conversed with each other. And it seems like you might find yourself now in a period of silence where this person could have kind of turned away from this, rejected this connection, rejected you, just kind of stuffed these feelings down, denied these feelings. And they're really, with this acknowledgement, they're really they're regretting not appreciating the time they spent with you more in the past, regretting kind of this decision to deny their feelings or kind of reject you, kind of push it away, because they're feeling this fulfillment. They're feeling this love. They're more comfortable with this love. They're ready to acknowledge this love. And it's something that, it's also speaking to them wanting to make some changes in their life, so that they can at least correct the future. Since they can't, make up for the past, they are able to control and do something different going forward. And they also say, a part of me died when I let you go. Yeah, so that's pretty profound right there. This speaks to this deep and abiding connection, this like soulmate energy that, when they kind of shut this connection off, pushed you away, that part of them that really just felt accepted and resonated with you. They've not been able to experience that with others. They really, in the time since you have been dealing with this person, they've experienced kind of this sense of not being known, or this sense of being rejected for who they are, being really misunderstood, being valued only for what they can provide to somebody else, as opposed to, just appreciated for who they are. And so it's made this sting very acute, this pain and this sense of loss, this feeling of not having you in their life. It's a pretty dramatic loss for them. They're feeling this deep soul bond, this soul connection with you, to where you know, it's more than just somebody that they used to know that they no longer talk to. It's a part of, you know, this connection. In some way, they're seeing it as a part of who they are. They're recognizing that this intertwined nature of your souls, and you know, they're mourning this. You know, like with a death. Even a literal physical death, there's that mourning process, or, you know, when a chapter ends, something closes, something, you know, comes to an end in our lives, and that's a death of sorts too, and there is this mourning period. So they're definitely, you know, in a way, very kind of, there's a lot of grief here, there's a lot of anguish. They could be even like listening to songs or looking back on pictures and crying a lot. They could just be feeling these deep kind of feelings of this very profound ending, something missing, something that could not be replaced by anyone other than you. And there's this need to, you know, work on themselves, to come back, to try to resurrect this, to create some kind of rebirth, because they've not been able to successfully kind of recreate this connection with others. And it's a sense of kinship at the soul level, a sense of connectedness at the soul level that they have not experienced with anyone else in their life before or since. And they also say, I must admit that I am longing for your touch and warm embrace. So again, that energy of just kind of longing, wishing for you, thinking back on the times you shared, the conversations you shared, you know, just wanting to be in your presence, wanting to hug you, wanting to hold you, wanting to look you in the eyes, face to face, talk with you, you know, hear your voice. All of these things is, you know, it's a very deep love. It goes beyond just physical attraction. This is soul love. There's, you know, just energetically speaking, you resonate with this person. It's such a harmonious vibration. You help to make sense of a lot of the parts of themselves that they may have even kind of run from or were uncertain about, were uncertain that these things were, you know, were good, were acceptable. They may have kind of discounted parts of themselves as shadows, as kind of the less desirable parts, the parts that were rejected by others, or that they were told to kind of tone down or keep to themselves, or not to encourage. But, you know, you've been accepting of all parts of them. You've really helped them to, you know, feel appreciated as a well-rounded version of self, maybe the overlooked parts of self, the undervalued parts of self that, you know, they have felt confident in expressing these things and cultivating these things, and just really, you know, leaning into that authenticity. And so there is this desire to come back together with you and to rebuild this connection, rebuild something, even in the sense of friendship, just to, you know, have that ability to exchange energy with you in the here and now. They definitely miss having you as a part of their life, and, you know, they want you in their life again. So let's get some more messages for you, group 4. Okay, and they say, I miss your touch. I want to hold you and tell you what I'm going through. Yeah, so there's a double confirmation of that. So we had the longing for your touch and your embrace, and, you know, there's this desire to hug you, to hold you. They could really, you know, miss hugging you if that was something, you know, you hugged them in the past, kind of getting the sense of like long and just very, you know, intimate hugs where, you know, the hearts are just speaking through each other's chests, you know, in this period of embrace, and neither person wanting to let go, and just feeling a sense of serenity in that, a sense of belonging, a sense of rightness, of fitting together. And it's something that, you know, they want that again. They want to move back in that direction. They long for, you know, those conversations, like they're saying here. They want to tell you what they're going through, and, you know, they could listen to your voice all day and night. There's this desire to really, you know, exchange energy with you, exchange ideas with you. You know, there's this passionate physical attraction, but it goes beyond that. It's, you know, they're intellectually attracted to you, or emotionally attracted to you, spiritually attracted to you, just in all ways. And I feel that they're really kind of kicking themselves for, you know, having let that go in the past. And they say, my ego is now stripped. I am very weak. How do I heal? I am at my lowest right now. Please send me your love. Yeah, so this realization, this epiphany they've come to, that they, you know, maybe had pushed away the one, that could be how they're looking at it, that it's something that it's a big sense of defeat. It's a sense of, like they were saying, when a part of me died when I let you go, knowing that, you know, this kind of love does not come around more than maybe once in a lifetime if somebody is lucky, this kind of resonance with another soul. And so it's something that they're not really sure how to move back in your direction. They're not really sure how to rebuild this. There's a feeling of having sabotaged something so wonderful, having kind of killed off an opportunity to have something really great. There's this feeling of, you know, whatever might have happened in the past, this rejection or this denial of the connection, that it might have been so wounding, or it could have propelled you in another direction, that they're kind of wondering if there's even any hope, if they're too late, if too much has been done. And so they're feeling very low right now. A lot of other things could have also changed in terms of, you know, seeing other people in their lives, other circumstances, maybe as being very one-sided. A lot of clarity has come. They've seen through, you know, these illusions, and kind of, you know, denying that maybe they were just kind of in some codependent relationships, or entertaining some kind of narcissistic relationships in their life. We're not really being valued and appreciated, but we're putting priority on those people in situations that we're not truly valuing them for who they are, but just for what they could do for that other person or that circumstance, what could be provided, as opposed to, you know, this equal kind of give and take. And so these are some harsh realities. These are some harsh truths. That the choices they made might have not, you know, been in their best interest, or people that they had kind of leaned toward, kind of focused on at the expense of maybe this relationship, that those people or those circumstances didn't really have their best interests in mind, or, you know, kind of let them down, or maybe even abandon them subsequent to when you were dealing with them. And so they're at this point of really just kind of this ego death, through this spiritual awakening that was coming up. They could be in kind of a dark night of the soul. They're nearing rock bottom, or they're at this rock bottom point where, you know, they now have this ability to rebuild themselves, as they said here, working on themselves every day so they can come back as their complete and whole self. So they're ready to turn a corner. They have this realization. And, you know, if you can send this person loving energy, that can definitely help. If you've been through your own spiritual awakening, your own dark night of the soul, you know how lonely that can feel, how desolate that can feel, how just hopeless that can feel. So regardless of what kind of a future you want with this person, of anything at all, you know, it's always good to send people loving energy so that they can, you know, they can heal and step into their best version of self, regardless of what that means for, you know, a love connection, a 3D connection, or any other kind of connection. It's, you know, it's always the generous thing to do, to be very giving with that love, because when we're giving of our love, just energetically speaking, even, you know, sending good thoughts people's way without an expectation of receiving anything back, then, you know, often that will return to us in dividends. We'll receive back love from unexpected sources, from unexpected ways. By putting that out, that selfless kind of unconditional love energy, we become a magnet for that abundance of love and that influx of love in our own lives as well. And they say, remember, my dear, we will unite in the end. So there's this feeling of, again, you being the one for them, this feeling of destiny with you. Despite what they might be going through, this darkness they might be in right now, this kind of hopelessness, or not really seeing a way out, not really, you know, knowing how to move forward with you, there is this sense that, you know, there's a larger plan in place, or there's at least a hope in their heart that love will conquer all, and that you'll get through this period, that love will see you both through. That as much as they have kind of realized this connection, and are feeling this connection, and feeling how alive this connection is despite what might have happened in the past, they're really trusting that, you know, they're feeling this for a reason, that it's not just to, you know, feel it and have nothing come of that. But, you know, now that they are able to, you know, look at things with clarity, make that awakened decision, having seen kind of the other side of that coin, what the choice to kind of move away from that or push it away, what that yielded was maybe, you know, disappointment or a sense of, you know, kind of unfulfillment or inauthenticity, then to make that choice to move in this direction, to move in the opposite direction. There's this trust that it will, you know, that the divine will lead you two back together in the end. And they say, what will you do or say if I come back? Will you forgive me and love me? So yeah, that uncertainty about, has too much time passed? Have they kind of sabotaged? Have they ruined a good thing? So they're vacillating between, you know, this trust and this confidence that the divine will lead you back together, that it'll be the two of you in the end. And, you know, in the midst of that, then they're also on the other side of that spectrum. There's some doubt as far as, would you accept them? Would you reject them? They're definitely seeing things with a lot of clarity. They're feeling this deep sense of loss, kind of kicking themselves for the decision they might have made in the past, the choice they might have made to kind of stuff down these feelings, push away this connection, push you away. And so there's this desire to move back in your direction, but uncertainty is what that will yield. So let's get your final 4 cards, group 4, from your person. Okay, and they say, will you allow me to come back? So yeah, double confirmation there of that other card that just came out. If they come back, will you forgive them? Do you still love them? So they're really not sure. They're not sure how you would respond to them. And, you know, that's something that it's giving them a lot of anxiety. That's a fear that they're going to need to push through to at least put themselves out there and, you know, take a chance, take a risk. To at least express that, to at least tap into that, to acknowledge that cord of love, that connection of love that they may have denied or kind of turned away from, pushed away in the past. But they're very much thinking of that. They're wanting a new beginning. They're thinking of moving in your direction to at least, you know, let you know the clarity they've had, the shifts that have happened in their perspective, not just about this connection, but, you know, in many ways. And I feel they're also wondering, would you even allow them back as a friend? Like in some capacity, this person wants the two of you to play a more active role in each other's lives than you do currently, closer to what you played before. But I feel that for most of them, they want to go deeper than whatever level you were at before. They want to really show up as a healed and confident version of self to meet you at your level and to really build something long-term in the future with you. And they also say, I am a lost soul. So yeah, that's speaking to, you know, this dark night of the soul. They could be in this very low place right now, grappling with a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of uncertainties, a deep sense of having really sabotaged, you know, a relationship with somebody very significant, having, you know, perhaps chosen the route of fear or accommodating others' desires for them as opposed to, you know, what their heart was telling them. And, you know, so they're kind of just wandering through this wasteland of sorts at this point in time, not sure how to rebuild. Certain they can't go back to whatever their mindset was before, whatever kind of way they were operating. They can't, you know, they've been awakened to these feelings of love. They have acknowledged these feelings of love they have for you. They can't turn that off. They can't blind themselves to it. So they're not really sure what to do, where to go with that, because there's this fear of you rejecting them, of it being too little too late. But then this desire as well to really put themselves out there. They're being just drawn and magnetized to you. So feeling kind of lost at this point about what to do next. What's the next step? And they say, my past is dark and weighs me down. So this is talking about there could have been some fear of rejection, some relationships from the past that went kind of sour, maybe some things from childhood that kind of caused them to recoil from love, kind of not believe in love, not believe that it was possible, or think that it only ever ends in disaster. And so this could be some reason that they kind of had pushed this away, pushed you away, rejected this relationship. And it's also, I'm feeling this past about however they treated you in the past, whichever ways they rejected you or kind of turned away from this, moved away from this connection, that's really weighing heavily on them. It's a lot of regret here. They're seeing this with fresh eyes. They're really acknowledging just how rare this connection is, how deeply they still feel it, how different this is, even just, you know, in terms of on a soul level, the connection between the both of you, romance aside, love, feelings of love aside, there's this deep sense of soul kinship, soul connectedness, this intertwined nature of the both of you, to where, you know, it's definitely soulmate energy, it's twin flame energy, it's counterpart energy. And they are recognizing that, you know, this is different. This far exceeds any other, you know, their imaginings or any other connection they've experienced. And so that weighs heavily on them as far as, you know, having pushed that away or having moved in another direction, having sabotaged that. They're feeling very, very heavily the guilt about any kind of hurt they might have inflicted upon you, any kind of, sorrow or feelings of rejection that their actions may have kind of imposed upon you or brought up within you. And it's something that, they want to kind of turn the page, to turn the corner, but they're not sure how to do that yet. And they also say, don't give up on me. So that's a pretty beautiful message to end this for you, group 4, where, they're hoping that you can, have some patience with them. It may have taken them a while to kind of recognize this, to turn and face this, to acknowledge this, but there is some deep recognition that has happened here, or they may have been in denial for quite some time. They definitely have clarity. They see the light. They're willing to acknowledge things that they may have turned away from in the past. And so there's this hope that when they, have gone through this healing, they've kind of picked themselves up from this dark place. They've kind of come out of the dark night of the soul. They've been sitting in that darkness long enough that instead of searching for the light, they become the light themselves, and thus sort of alleviate the heaviness. They lighten the burden which they are feeling. That when they get to that point, when they metamorphosize to that point, they're hoping that there will still be an opportunity for you, that you can hold them in a very loving space as they're going through this process, understanding that, they were operating with the tools and perhaps the wounding the best that they could the last time you interacted with them, that you dealt with them, whatever led to this separation. But they are hoping that you'll hold out a place of hope, that you'll keep the door open for them, even just a crack, as you move on with your life, as you live your best life, as you really embody self-love and just the things that make you feel very joyous and abundant and prosperous. But they're hoping that somewhere in your heart that you aren't completely closed off to them, because they definitely have the intention in the long run of making their way back to you and really perhaps telling you the words that they had repressed before, or giving you any kind of apologies that you or they feel are owed. So those are your messages, group 4. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.